Rough sleeping in England has soared by 27% as Charities slam the truly shameful figures. We're going to read into this more from Sky News, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Sky News with the headline of Rough sleeping in England has soared by 27% as Charities slam the truly shameful figures. The quarterly figures from the government also shows that over 78,460 households are facing homelessness. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, you can hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Homelessness. Rough sleeping. 27%, and this is England. This is the situation we are in, and there are a number of factors with regards to this, guy. One of the key ones has been our shambolic government, the shambolic political party that has been running essentially the country for the last 14 years here, and it's so deplorable and so heartbreaking because in the 14 years, we've had lots of austerity. We've had lots of cuts. We've had our bills gone up. We've had a broken NHS. We have a unsuitable education system because it's just not working. We have an out of control crime with our police force. We have an uncontrolled immigration system. And we have a cost of living crisis where our waters and rivers are being plunged full of sewage by private water companies while making record profits. We have gas companies like British Gas making over 900% record profits. Oil and gas companies are making record profits. And here we are, guys, getting kicked out of our homes because we can't afford to pay. Because we can't afford to pay for simple basic needs, never mind being able to feed ourselves, but not even being able to live in the homes because everything costs too much. And despite the fact that some of you may be listening, may be working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, whether it's working one job or 3 jobs, you still can't afford them. You still can't afford it. If you're single, you're buggered. Even as a couple, you struggle. You struggle just to get by. And where does that leave people? On the streets. And many jobs aren't going to hire somebody who's homeless, are they? And the other factor here is that more and more the government are doing this. Putting their hands back, stepping away from it all, guys. And you know why they're stepping away from it all? Because charities are stepping in. Because the government are taking their hands off the wheel, not wanting to take ownership and responsibility for what's happening in this country. And basically want charities to do everything for them. Just like they want private companies to do everything for them as well. The government don't want to do anything. They want everything to be run by someone else. So that whenever things go wrong, they say, nothing to do with us. They want to literally take their hands off the wheel. The whole point of a government is to look after its people. Is to look after its nation. That's the whole point. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to take ownership and responsibility for what's happening in any way, shape, or form. This lot. Now we can always debate about what we think about Labour, Reform, Green, Lib Dems, or about the other political parties. But the Conservatives, specifically the Conservatives, guys, they don't give a shit about you or any of your problems. They never have, and they never will. And if there's anything here that's been torn, the last 14 years should have shown you that. Look around you. Look around your high street. Have things really gotten better? Are you a lot happier? Have you noticed more people sleeping rough? Have you noticed how difficult it is to buy the food and things that you used to buy? Surely you are seeing that, aren't you? Because I see it. Many people I know are seeing it. I've had many people in comments telling me are seeing it. We have to get rid of these Conservatives. And anyone voting Conservative really is truly blind to what's happening out there. It's a horrible, horrible time to be living in this country. And it is very shameful. But that doesn't mean that we can't change things for the future. This general election really, really does matter. And I understand that many, many people feel that they don't want to vote simply because they're fed up of politicians, they're fed up of lies, they're fed up of corruptions, they're fed up of things not going their way. But we cannot have another 4 years of these same people that we've had for 14 years. We've got to have something different. We need to have something different. Rough sleeping, guys, soared by 27%. And where the government? Nowhere, as always, to be seen. Nearly 4,000 people were believed to have been sleeping rough in England on a single night last autumn. 4,000 in one night. 27% increase from the year before. Charities said it's the largest annual increase since 2015. 2015. Conservatives again. This was under Conservatives. And more than double the estimates from 2010 when records first began. So this has gotten worse since 2010, 2015 and now. Government figures also showed a record 109,000 households were in temporary accommodation from July to September 2023, including more than 142,490 children. 142,000 children in England are living in temporary accommodation. What kind of a future is that for them? Where is the hope for them? Where is the happiness? Where is the expectations for them? The next generation. Quarterly figures suggest 78,460 households are facing homelessness. Look at that. Look at that picture there. Just two people just trying to stay warm in a corner. I dare not click on that video. Housing Charity Shelter said the numbers showed the government was failing to get a grip on the housing emergency and has failed its 2019 manifesto commitment to end rough sleeping by 2024. Here's a funny fact for you. Did you know, guys, when the pandemic struck, do you want to know what happened to homelessness? There was none. No one was sleeping rough during those lockdowns. Everyone had some kind of accommodation. Everyone. How's that, you say, says Regan. Well, for some reason, the government magically found places for them all. So, if somebody in the comments tells me that there isn't a way that this can be dealt with, how are we able to get all the homelessness off the streets here during COVID? If there is a will, there is a way. And the government are choosing not to do anything about this. This is a choice. It's not a case that they can't. It is a choice that they choose not to deal with this issue. Fiona Colley, Director of Social Change at Homeless Link, said the appalling spike in rough sleeping points to a situation that is out of control and demands emergency action. She warns sleeping rough is a deeply traumatic experience that severely impacts people's mental and physical health. If a healthy society is judged by how it supports the most vulnerable citizens, then today's statistics are truly shameful. Figures come after more than 100 council leaders wrote to the Housing Secretary Michael Gove asking him to heed campaigners' calls for eviction notice periods to be extended to 4 months to stop renters from sliding into homelessness. Of the 35,760 households who were assessed as being threatened with homelessness, 6,580 households were in this position due to being served a Section 21 notice to end a privacy rented tenancy, something the government has promised to outlaw in 2019. The Section 21 notice, we've talked about it on numerous occasions here on the channel, about how so many people have been kicked out of their homes because they can't afford to pay the rent because the landlords bump up the prices so much to a point where these people are working so many hours, absolutely killing themselves, and they're enriching these landlords. And when they can't pay the bills anymore, they're kicked to the curb. just like that. Tom Darling, campaign manager at the Renters Reform Coalition, said the statistics revealed that almost 90,000 people had claimed statutory homelessness support after receiving a Section 21 notice. There are fears that protections for renters could be watered down by the government in an attempt to appease Tory backbenchers who are hesitant over the changes. A DHLUC spokesperson said, "We want everyone to have a safe place to call home, which is why we're giving councils $1.2 billion so that they can give financial support to those who need it, helping them to find a new home and move out of temporary accommodation." I'm going to contradict myself about what I said about temporary accommodation. One of the issues that we're also having is a lack of housing. We've heard so many times about how lacking we are of homes in many places as well. Yeah, how were we able to find everyone a home during the pandemic, and yet at this point in time we can't find homes for everyone. Whether it's those who are claiming asylum, whether it's those ordinary people here, whether it's people who are stuck out on the streets. Why are we in this situation? It's because the government haven't built enough homes. As simple as the case of that. And there's been too many cases where they've not changed the laws that are necessary in order to build the homes that are needed. Because too many people are more concerned about their viewpoint from their window, because they don't want their beautiful green lush background to be turned into a bunch of houses. Well, our population is growing and we kind of need more homes. So, I generally hope that Labour do something about that. Temporary accommodation is a vital safety net to make sure families are not left without a roof over their heads. But councils must make sure it is suitable for families. That's not possible. We have seen so many times, not just my channel, but many other YouTubers, we have seen documentaries and whatnot of people living in abhorrent, disgusting accommodations. Mould, the air they breathe is just inhumane. Dampness. It's some of the accommodations that people live in are pretty despicable, to say the least, and it's a major issue. At the same time, we've boosted the local authority housing allowance, making the 1.6 million private renters in receipt of housing benefit or universal credit nearly £800 a year better off. Well, we'll explain these numbers then, because I'm not buying that the government are doing anywhere near enough. Do you think they honestly think they're doing enough? I don't think so. I've just boils my blood when I think about it. Our own people in this country who are working hard, trying to make a living, trying to make a success of themselves. And sometimes you succeed and sometimes you don't. But even when you don't succeed, you should not have to fall so far down. And that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like people are being harshly punished here. Harshly punished. In many cases, circumstances beyond their control. Now, there are cases where obviously people have been wasteful and not looked after their money. But we are all human beings, and we should be there to look out for each other. And I really, really do put this out there, guys. I commend every single charity that does work out there that makes a difference to people's lives, whether it's in this country or any country for that matter. But the fact is, they should not be doing the jobs that they should be doing. It should be down to the government to ensure that they are responsibly looking after the people that they are governing, and they're not doing that. And that's the reality, guys. That is the absolute reality, and it does hurt me. And I've had some people in my comments talk about the situations that they've been in. Luckily, they're in a better place now. And while I'm in an okay position, I've already given up long time ago about buying a home, just because it's just, as much as I want to own my own home, it's just not feasible. It's just not feasible, guys. I would love to have my own home, but it's just not possible in the current circumstances. I know I've had a lot of Scottish friends telling me to come up to Scotland, but I'm happy to be around the family where I am. But in all seriousness, guys, what do you think about this story? What do you think of rough sleeping in England? What do you think about the charities? What should the government be doing? Let me know your thoughts and more in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative and helpful, please hit the like button, be greatly appreciated, and share it across social media so others are aware of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me and the work that I do here, I would really appreciate it. You can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Patreon or Rumble for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.